Hello, my name is Evan Rose, and I'm running for Maine State Senate. We are in our second week now, end of the first week of our coronavirus pandemic. And the world is undergoing quite a bit of a shock from this. I think it would be safe to say that we won't be the same people when we emerge out of this crisis as we were going into it. Nobody expected this to happen. Well, some people did. The CDC certainly did. Because they had an understanding of how pandemics work. They had an understanding of what exponential change means. So where to start? Well, perhaps we could start with a little bit from the classics, from Dante's Inferno. When Dante is led by Virgil through hell, and they emerge into the world of the living, they ascend a mountain, and up this mountain they find a wall of flames. And Virgil, who had accompanied Dante through this journey, tells Dante that he must pass through this wall of flames alone, that he won't be there with him, and that much of what he remembers and what he experienced will be, much of what he was, will be purged as he walks through this flame. I think that where we are right now with this pandemic is something of this old story. We won't be the same people coming out of this as we were going into it. This experience is going to be something that we will remember always, and we will try to recover what it was that we were and what our expectations were before this pandemic hit, and before the recession that will inevitably follow hit as well. So I say to anyone right now who makes prognostications about the future, whether it be future in terms of the election coming up, the future in terms of the economy, is buckle up. We have a lot of changes we're going to be seeing and undergoing ourselves. So I never expected to necessarily run for state senate. I never expected to be in my basement painting signs and making videos and posting them online. I never expected a pandemic. The world never really expected this to happen. There were a lot of expectations. And a lot of that's being shaken right now. And when our expectations are shaken, and we don't know what the world is going to look like when we emerge, we can either just let fate take its course, and to some extent we have no choice but to respond to things, obviously, that are out of our control. But at the same time, we can see this as an opportunity and start to try and build the world that we want after we emerge from this crisis. The economy will be devastated. We have yet to see the impact of this in the long term. I want to put some of this event, this COVID crisis, in some perspective, some historical perspective. World War II claimed 419,400 U.S. lives in the war. That was when the population in 1939, entering the war, presaging the war, was 131,028,000. That corresponds to 0.32% of the U.S. population. The Spanish flu in 1918 swept through, the H1N1 flu, and claimed 0.48 to 0.64% of the U.S. population. Now, just today, the Washington Post reported the results of the COVID-19 response team in City College of London, that we are on track. We are absolutely on track with the Italian trajectory, about 10 days behind. And if we continue on this track with spotty social distancing, spotty hand washing, and this American ethos of, well, the government can't tell me what to do with my lives, and our really poor, spotty, and patchy, and inconsistent medical care system, which the Italians don't have. They actually have a single-payer, easy, very top-notch medical system. We don't. We will be on track to losing 2.2 million people in this country, dying So that corresponds with our current population of about 0.667%. More than the Spanish flu, twice as much as World War II. That's the scale of the crisis that we're in. Here in South Portland, state and local aid is being coordinated in pretty rapid fashion. School lunches are being offered, even though schools themselves are shut down until April, end of April. In the midst of it, at least so far, there's charity among us, and the community is really pulling together. We've got a strong community here. People looking out for each other and not asking for payment. So far, it's all charity-based. So it's an emergency, and capital is flowing. Resources are flowing. Is it flowing charitably? It's charitably flowing now, but will it be? Is it going to be broadly as we keep an eye on this capital flow in the next couple of weeks? It'll be really very telling as to who we are as a people, and I think we need to keep an eye on this capital flow. It's not Lord of the Flies out there yet, but as this wall of flames passes through us, and as time passes us through it, let's keep a watchful and curious eye on capital flows. In the next several months to a year, we will be hearing large amounts of money, hearing about large amounts of money being transferred here and there. There's talk right now of what to do with unemployment insurance. There are big corporate bailouts that are discussed in terms of trillions of dollars. I remember in 2008, during the financial collapse, then Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson came hat in hand to Congress saying, we need $700 billion now, with great graveness. And financial markets were tanking miserably. And this became the Troubled Asset Relief Program, or TARP. And that money, I guess, was paid back. There will be more. I'll talk about debt, not personal household debt, but national debt, particularly American debt. I think that that modern monetary theory, even those who might argue against its potential ability to move large amounts of money, realize that America as a reserve currency, as the world's reserve currency, can pretty much indebt itself to no end. We can issue treasuries, and as long as there is a demand for treasuries as the only safe form to put large amounts of money, we will always pay that debt. It's our constitutional obligation, and that debt is to ourselves. So it's a promise to the future. I guess that's what debt is in any context, is a promise that money now is going to be used for a better future, and that there will be some better return on that. Well, right now, what was it last week? $1.5 trillion was just created into existence, and that lasted all of 15 minutes to sort of shore up financial markets. This go around, there's talk of having $1 trillion a day. $1 trillion a day go into these financial markets. It's complicated. That money is kind of actually not coming from anywhere. It is sort of just appearing out of nowhere. It's a promise to shore these things up for 30 years from now. It's really strange how that all works. I'll be able to unpack some of that in the course of these little mini chats. But for now, our bigger worries are just keeping your health, keeping your sanity, keeping your life situation as somewhat stable as it can possibly be. This is unlike anything any of us have ever experienced. And it's going to change how we view everything. I read today that in the UK, one of the health ministers there is considering closing schools for a year. Right now in Maine, or in South Portland, the schools are closed until April 27th. I don't think they're going to be opening up again anytime soon. Part of the check on the spread of this virus is great dependency on our compliance with some of these orders about social distancing. And, people go out. They still go out. I think here in this area, they go outside and they are respectful of these distances. I went to Best Buy today to get that GoPro with some trepidation. I figured I was going to be making these videos, so I got a little GoPro as opposed to my cheesy little iPhone 5, which has all kinds of problems. So the difference in quality between last and this video is going to be pretty big. And I was glad to see that Best Buy here had a manager come out to your car with gloves, take your order, and go inside and get your order with your credit card and come out and deliver it to you. It was actually a really good system. So yeah, that. And every day it's going to be more restrictive. I know Germany just today has an order that people going out of their homes can only be in groups of two, just two, groups of two. It's weird. It's kind of like a slow zombie apocalypse, but without the zombies part. Yeah, so this is going to change our view of certainly spring and of everything. So, yeah, so I don't know as far as campaigns go if this is even going to be that meaningful anymore, but I want to try and make it meaningful because everything is on the table right now. This game board has been shaken up, and we need to make sure that out of this we have some semblance of not just order, but hope, some semblance of democracy, so that it's not just hope for the few, select, but for everyone. And now that the game table has been shaken up, I think it is perhaps more contingent on us to be agile and thoughtful about what world we're going to build. So that's it for now. Once again, my name is Eben Rose. This will be the first of a series of conversational videos about this crisis that we're going through and how to build a world beyond that. If you happen to live in District 29, which is Cape Elizabeth, South Portland, and a little slice of Scarborough that's by Higgins Beach and east of Pleasant Hill Road, then that's my district. And I'm a clean elections candidate, and amid everything that's going on right now, if you feel compelled, I would encourage you to go to my website, ebenrose.com, make a $5 contribution for my clean elections campaign, and hopefully if there's at least 100 or so, 175 actually, then I'll be able to continue this effort and bring this message to Augusta. The message will be described in this series of videos. So thank you for watching. Take care now.